So I would just invite you to think about your body as a garden, and you don't want anything to grow inside of your body that is not healthy, that's not good for you. You want only good things to grow. So you can control, to some extent, what grows in your body by what you put in your mouth, by what you feed. First of all, let's think about cancer. If I was a cancer cell, what kind of environment would I want to live in, grow in, multiply in? What would be my favorite place? A friendly body would be a body that eats a lot of sugar, a lot of refined sugar, and also that eats very few fruits and vegetables, very few plants. Sugar has been shown in research to promote the growth of cancer. That's something that cancer is really going to like. If we want to make our bodies unfriendly to cancer, we're going to have to dial down the sugar consumption. Okay, and then the other thing is fruits and vegetables have fiber, which is great because that helps clean our body out and get rid of things. We need to have good movement of our food through our body, and the waste products need to get out in a timely fashion. Fiber also feeds the good gut bacteria. The good gut bacteria really is important for our immune system. So we want fiber, and fiber is found in plants, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds. Fruits and vegetables have chemicals in them. Now, these are not pesticides. They can have pesticides on them if they're not organic, but we're talking about the natural chemicals in the fruits and vegetables. These are called phytochemicals. Phyto means plant. So these are plant chemicals that are naturally occurring. And there are so many different types of phytochemicals in fruits and vegetables that have just amazing ability to keep us healthy and protect us. So we're going to dig into a little bit into what some of those phytochemicals are and the fruit and vegetable superstars supporting our bodies in being less friendly to the development of cancer. I am a dentist. I have a master's in public health with a concentration in health behavior, and I'm a professor and researcher, but I am not a physician. So I want you to follow the directions of your physician. I'm just providing a little information from my years of study. My dad died of cancer, and I really wanted to learn a little bit more about how I might be able to protect myself and my family. We're going to start by talking about berries. Berries are a true superstar. Berries are high in antioxidants. Antioxidants help to remove free radicals in our body. Free radicals are formed when we're exposed to things like toxins. We don't want these free radicals floating around in our body because they're harmful to our cells. When we eat foods that are high in antioxidants, they scavenge up those free radicals, get them out of our body so they will not cause harm to our cells and cause them to deform into cancer cells. Berries are extremely high in antioxidants. So let's talk just a little bit about ellagic acid and some of the amazing benefits found in raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. Ellagic acid removes the protein coat that covers the cancer cell so that our immune system can recognize that cancer cell and attack it and get rid of it. So that's pretty amazing. There's actually some drugs that work this way. Berries are not going to be as powerful as the drugs, but that is pretty amazing that it works in a similar fashion. Another study found that ellagic acid actually improved the ability of chemotherapy to be effective and also helped reduce the toxicity of chemotherapy. Before you make any changes in your diet, you always want to talk to your doctor and make sure it's okay. Another thing that ellagic acid can do that's pretty amazing is it helps to cut off the blood supply to a little baby cancerous tumor. And that blood supply is actually formed by that baby cancer. So when it gets about the size of a pencil lead, really small, that tumor starts sending out messages to the surrounding blood vessels to send out little shoots to make a web of blood vessels around and kind of going into that tumor. And once that tumor establishes its own blood supply, it's off and running to grow and eventually spread. There are actually anti-angiogenic drugs that help stop this process. So let's break that down. Anti means stop. Angio means blood vessels. Genesis means the beginning of, like Genesis in the Bible. So angiogenesis means the beginning of blood vessels, and that's what this baby tumor is doing. It's creating new blood vessels, its own blood supply, which is very important to its growth. So we want to stop that, potentially with anti-angiogenic drugs, which are sometimes used for the treatment of cancer, but there's also foods that have some potential. I mean, obviously not as strong as a pharmaceutical agent, but it is very interesting that the ellagic acid has some potential to be anti-angiogenic as well. Berries have been found to be anti-inflammatory, and they also help to boost our immune system. If you're a cancer cell, you don't want the immune system boosted because the immune system is not friendly to cancer cells. So these berries boost our immune system. They help prevent the blood supply from growing around a baby tumor so it can grow bigger and spread. They also contain antioxidants, and then they're also very anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is an environment that cancer cells really like. So you can see why berries are just a true superstar. Dr. Greger, in his book, How Not to Die, talks about a daily dozen. The daily dozen that we should be eating every day. And you can imagine that berries, one serving of berries, is on his daily dozen. One more dozen I want to talk about with you, and that is the dirty dozen. Not the daily dozen. They're good. Those are good things. The dirty dozen are the 12 most pesticide-contaminated fruits and vegetables that we could consume. So the Environmental Working Group, EWG, every year they post a list of the 12 dirty dozen fruits and vegetables, and also the clean 15, which are the cleanest in terms of pesticides of the fruits and vegetables. Berries make the dirty dozen list every year. If you can get organic, it would be best. If you can't, you can put the berries in a 1 to 10 saltwater solution, and that's been shown to reduce some of the pesticides. The healthiest way to eat fruit, berries, is when you just pick it right off the vine and eat it fresh. The longer it sits in a truck, in the grocery store, or in your refrigerator, those phytochemicals are starting to degrade somewhat. So if you want the maximum benefit of those very beneficial chemicals, eating it fresh is the best way to eat it, and organic. So that's why it's great to have your own garden or go to the farmer's market. Now, sometimes we can't do that. What I do is I buy frozen organic berries and make smoothies in the winter. I also put those frozen wild blueberries in my oatmeal every morning. And by the way, oatmeal is another thing that you really want to get organic. There's so much more I could share about food, but I don't want to overwhelm you. Hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, please subscribe and like, and leave me a comment so that I know I'm giving you some valuable information. If you'd like to click the link in the description below, you'll have access to my Pillars of Health checklist designed to make your body less friendly to the development of cancer.